Hey guys, so I'm going to be speaking on a sensitive topic, and I normally never mention this near my channel, and I probably never have, and I don't know, I just really feel the need to get this off my chest, off of something that happened to me not so long ago, and some information about the topic that I want to share. This video has a trigger warning because I will talk about depression and suicide. So if that triggers you in any way, please click off. This is not the video for you. I will be making subtle jokes about some stuff that I went through because that's just how I really deal with things here. And I'm going to also be talking about substance abuse because that was the reason why I went into the hospital. So, I'm going to start off with that you are not alone. I thought I was alone. But when I went into the mental hospital, there was like other children who had the same problem as me. The same exact problem. And theirs were even more severe than mine. So I just want you to know that there are people out there who are dealing with the same thing. Probably not the same situation and not the same severity. But if you really need help to go to a mental hospital or see a psychiatrist, I suggest you really do. Before you go to a mental hospital, please do your research. I checked my hospital's reviews and they weren't good, but it was the one I was being transferred from my hospital, so I literally had no choice, and I was already being evaluated, and I was for sure gonna go. So, please do your research before you go to any mental hospital. Mine was horrible. I hated the experience, but I also, kind of learned from it in a way. I also want you to know that if you need somebody to talk to, if you're going through something really difficult and you feel like you don't have a voice and people aren't there for you, then I will be there for you. You can put your comment down in the comments below. I will read them. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. I will read it and I will love it because I like talking to you guys and I just really want to know that you're not alone and that you are going to get through it. Without meds, with meds, with the hospital, without the hospital. Things just don't stay at a level like this the whole time. Sometimes it goes like this, sometimes it goes like that, but sometimes it will just go down, You'll feel better and your depression or your sadness will go away soon. So, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and tell my story. So, I was 14 when I was administered into the hospital. The night before the hospital, I was drinking vodka. I used to abuse alcohol, like to a level where I was really, really, really drunk, where I had no idea what I was doing, no remembering what I did. It was really bad. And drinking underage is not a good idea. It's not. I'm gonna tell you from my experience, it was awful because it ended up to, the mental hospital, which was not okay. I've been depressed and suicidal for quite some time. And, dealing with it was horrible. So I took an opportunity to put my problems on alcohol. And alcohol is a depressant, so it was making things actually worse for me in the end. And alcohol the next day made me feel guilty because I was lying to my parents. I was lying to my family. I was lying to everybody, my friends. And it was really bad. Alcohol and drugs are not the answer to your problems. They will only make them worse than what they actually are. Besides antidepressants and those other medicine for you. But, doing like bad drugs that will affect your health is not good. At a point, I was contemplating whether to quit alcohol or not because I was like, it damages your liver. And I'm quite small. I'm a 5'1", 5'0", 105 pounds little girl. My liver cannot handle such, a lot of alcohol. But I didn't care nonetheless. I would drink about 2 times every month. And those 2 times would be a lot of alcohol. At least like a whole bottle. Like of this. Like that. Like this thick. I would drink a lot. And it was not amazing for me. And it will never be until, I'm of age and I drink responsibly, not like I did before. And, substance abuse is not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. It could end you up in places you don't want to be. Please, I suggest you not to do it. And if you do struggle, go see if there's any groups, counseling that you can take, any therapy help maybe, psychiatrist maybe can help you start giving you meds, and then knowing you can't take alcohol with meds, it will make things better, hopefully. But enough of that. Substance abuse is all out really bad. Don't do it like I did and ruined my life. So, I'm going to talk about my experience now. So, the night before, 10 shots of vodka, It was pretty typical for me, not a lot. It wasn't bad. It was perfect for me. I was really, 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 really drunk. And I did it when I was home alone, of course. And then my parents came home. So I was like, oh my God. So I hid everything. I ran upstairs. The most drunkest person ever ran upstairs. And I locked myself in that room right there, the bathroom. And it all went down from there. So I was supposed to take a shower. That's the reason why I stayed. Because I needed to take a shower. But that wasn't what I was doing. I was literally being the most horrible kid and drinking vodka. So I locked myself in the bathroom. And I didn't know what I was doing. So, because I was really drunk. And I remember I was on FaceTime with my cousin. And I was crying like crazy. Because, alcohol's not to get happy. It makes you worse. And I was like really sad. I was crying. And then nobody heard. But then I was still in the bathroom. And it was 2 hours later. And my dad, I guess he heard me falling in the bathtub. It was really loud. Like you could hear the thumps from downstairs. And I just kept on falling and falling. I failed to even turn on the shower. That's how slow I was in my head. And I was completely clothesless. I didn't have clothes on because I thought I was taking a shower, but I was just chilling in the bathtub doing some weird things. I didn't know what I was doing. And I woke up because I passed out in the bathtub. And I heard knocking, a lot of knocking and screaming from the door. And it was my mom and dad. And they were like, open up, what are you doing? It is so loud. You've been in there for 2 hours. What are you doing? And obviously they were worried because they were like, she's never done it. And I literally put a towel on and I came out of the bathroom. That's when everything went horrible. So they saw me and I was drunk and I was like, oh, like, gone. And they were like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. You know, people drunk, how they talk. So I was drunk talking. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I was just taking a shower. But I was all like, my eyes weren't even focusing on one thing. They were just going crazy all over the place. And my mom started getting really worried and she started crying. And then my dad was just like, this child. But then I really, really had enough and I started going berserk. My mom tried to change me and I was like, no. No, not here, not right now. And I was going crazy. I was banging on the wall. I was saying suicidal claims. I was saying, that I wanted to die. I was tired of my life. And I was really, really going through it right there. And my mom, she was actually trying to change me, but I just didn't let her because I was moving so much, going crazy. And then she stopped me. And then she just said, call 911. And that's when I know things were going to get even worse. And then now I got the cops on the road to my house. So I was, going hectic, even more hectic. And I was banging my head. I literally got bruised everywhere. And my mom and my dad had to get in the room because that's how bad it was. And I don't know what happened then because my mom said they were still trying to change me, but I just wouldn't let them. And then they finally got to the point where I'm fully clothed. And keep in mind, I didn't take a shower, so I still, felt disgusting. But at the time, I didn't know what was going on, so I thought it was a dream, really. Or a nightmare. And then my parents took me downstairs, and I was still drunk. No, I just waited on the couch. And then the police came. They were like, so you drank 10 shots. And I was like, And then I told them I was depressed. And then I told them I'm suicidal. The basic stuff. And then, the stuff that they question you. And then they were looking at my parents to see if they were, like, mentally abusing me or anything. Physically, nothing. So there was nothing there between me and my parents. It was just all me and my brain and my issues. That's where they all are. So I was just really, really gone. I just didn't know what I was answering to this point. And they were like, okay, come on, you're going to go in the ambulance. And I was like, huh? And then I had to go outside. And then my brother came home because my mom was calling him to come home. And then he was like crying. Well, I think he was crying. I'm not sure. But he was like upset. He was really upset. And he was like, what happened? Why are they taking her in the ambulance? And somebody wanted to go in the ambulance with me, but I think they couldn't. And it was just me and these two people in the ambulance with me. These two people were just like questioning me, questioning why I drank and what happened. And it's all just a blur, really, because I was drunk the whole time. And I just, didn't answer to the best of my ability. And like, it felt like 10 minutes, but the hospital's like 30 minutes away. But it felt like 10 minutes. And we got there. And then I went through emergency room, I think. And they made me change into those scruffs that I hate. They made me change into those. And there's these nurses that literally saw me completely naked, and I had to use the bathroom in front of them because they did not let me by myself. And, because of safety issues and my crazy self. So they had to be in the room with me all the time. No, not in the room, the bathroom. And they give me those little fuzzy socks that they do, those grandma socks, I was big chillin'. And then I was in the hospital room. And then my other brother came. And we all had a talk. And I was really, really upset at my parents for some reason. Because I just, from all the built up anger and all the sadness that I had, I just, found a reason to be mad at my family. And I was arguing, and then my brother asked me personally, can we talk? And my family left the room, and it was just me and my brother, and he told me some stuff, and it really, really made me realize what I was doing and where I was and why. Just completely, why was I doing this? And I had a talk with him, a very emotional talk, let me tell you. And he was finally done. And then my parents and my brother came back in. And we just basically talked. And then the doctor came in and take my blood to see how drunk I was. And then I think they were putting IV too as well. So I basically had 2 shots already. Yeah, these shots, not the and then they took my blood, and then they put me IV, and I was just laying there talking. I was falling asleep, and it was 5 a.m. And my 2 brothers left, and then my dad left as well, and it was just me and my mom. And my mom stayed the night, and she slept in a chair, which was horrible. And then in the morning, the psychiatrist was supposed to come and evaluate me and see what's going to happen with me if I go to the hospital or if I just, go back to my house. And then it was morning. It was 8 a.m. And I woke up by the psychiatrist because she was knocking the door. And she came in. And she was asking me some questions. And these questions were like, what happened in your life that made you depressed? And what events? What else? She asked, why did I drink? And I think I answered one question where I was like, And she was like, what does that mean? Is that a yes or a no? And I was like, you giving me attitude, girl? Girl. I'm not okay in my head. And that actually stuck with me. Like, I remember that when she was like giving me attitude, and I was like, really? Okay. It was completely fine. Because I was just like, is that really how people really want to treat me? Up to them, I guess. And then she evaluated me, and I guess she thought I was really depressed and that I should go to the mental hospital. So they already said I was gonna go to the mental hospital, so I checked the reviews on what mental hospital they were gonna put me in. And I'm not gonna say the name, because, I'm not trying to get sued, I'm not trying to go to court. I'm not gonna say the name, but they had 2.9 stars. And that is not a good rating for a mental hospital, let me tell you. And I was checking all the latest reviews, and they were saying that, they were treated poorly, and the food was disgusting, the rooms were dirty, this and that. And I was just like, I'm gonna go there. And at the time, I didn't know what a mental hospital was. I didn't know that, there would be people with me. Like, I would have to share a room, or I wouldn't have my own room, and you'd be forced to do certain things, stuff like that. Not all mental hospitals are the same, though. Some are completely, fun, and they let you do everything you want. You can stay in your room, or you can do whatever the activities are. But for my mental hospital, you did not have a choice whether you wanted to stay in your room or go out do activities. Well, I didn't have a choice. And so it took about an hour for them to transfer me because they were like doing paperwork and stuff. And my dad brought me McDonald's, and I ate some food, and then I drank water. I was very hydrated, and my stomach was full. And so these people from the hospital, they walked in the room and they were like, okay, it's time to go to the mental hospital now. And they had a whole bed for me, and they had to strap me in. They had to put the ties, the thingies. And then we went into the ambulance again, and my mom had the choice to come with me. So I went in the ambulance, and I had my phone and stuff. And I was like, chilling on my phone. I was like, guys, I'm having a mental crisis right now and stuff. And then I was being transported to the mental hospital, and we got to the mental hospital. Let me tell you, it was such an eerie visit when we went there. It was like, it looked very eerie. And when we went in, it was just white everywhere, white. And I know that's how they put it in the movies, because I watch a lot of movies, and that's how they look like, just all white. But I didn't really expect it to be like all white in real life. And then we went in this room with only white chairs, only white walls, and only white floor. And we had at least 3 people, I think, 3 people to come evaluate me. So the first one asked me like just questions like, how was I and how did I feel, and what was really triggering it, what was really making me sad and depressed. And then the second one was asking me more personal questions like, what did you go through? Did your parents do anything? And my triggers, and then what I don't like and what makes me sad and stuff like that. And then the third person came in, and I think this was the one who was going to talk to my parents and tell them what's going to happen with me and how many days I'm going to stay. And then, so we left the room. Well, they didn't tell me what days I was going to stay. They told me like I was going to stay 3 to 5 days. And I stayed for the max 5 days. I wanted to get out in 3 days because I didn't want to be there anymore. But then they took me to another room, the contraband room, where I had to put all my stuff. You could not have your phone at all. You couldn't have any sweaters with strings. You couldn't have any of that. You couldn't have razors, of course. And you couldn't really have the most basic things like ties in your shoe. Yeah, you couldn't have any of that. And they would put my phone and all my stuff in the little basket. And I was still in my scrubs. And then the nurse, whatever she is, I don't know, the helper, she led me to a hallway, and then I had to say bye to my parents. And I was being administered into the mental hospital now. And the helper took me along a hallway, and then I met a person. And this person might watch that video, and I met them, and they were like, hello. And I was like, hi. Like, I was really scared. I was shy because I'm socially awkward. I was shy, and I was crying because I was really, really sad that I had to leave my parents. And so then they took us to upstairs, I think, the second level. I'm not sure. I don't even remember. But it was we had to go in the elevator, and then so they had a helper too, and I had one too. And then we were at the main office of the children's, facility, their children's area. And we were outside, but then we had to be put into different rooms because they were going to evaluate us, I guess. And so this helper took me to a room with this other girl. another helper, and they both made me squat. I had to squat, and I don't even remember. They had to like, I had to like squat and do something else. I don't remember. But they made me do some weird stuff, and that, and then I had scruffs on, and they wanted me to take off my shirt to see if there was like any bruises or anything. So if I leave and I have new bruises, they'll be able to tell that I'm not okay. But I had no bruises, and everything was fine, and they checked my legs and stuff. And then we left the room. I left the room, and I saw them again. And then we got transported into the area with the other children. Now, here is where everything started. So I walked in, and there's like a hallway, and then to the left there's like a room. It's like a room where activities are, taking place, and you can go hang out and talk to other kids. I guess it was like the gathering room, like the daycare room, like that. And so I was waiting along the hallway because I didn't know what to do. Nobody told me to go in that room and speak to people because I didn't want to. And I was really going through it that time because I was just like, oh, I don't want to be here. And then when I first came in, there was like there's like these kids. They're younger than us. They're called the peds. The peds were kids who were 12 up to the maximum of 12 years old or younger. And I saw them talking with the nurse techs. The nurse techs, which are the people who like walk around the hallway and help around. And there's two guys, two nurse techs, and one of them was my ethnicity, and so I was like standing in the hallway next to him because I just didn't know what to do. And the person I met was across from me, and they were trying to talk to me, but I was just like, I don't want to talk. And then the nurse tech next to me started talking to me, and I was like, what was your name? What is your name? And I said Fatima, and then he said it, and then like a Spanish accent, and I knew he was, some like my ethnicity or something. But like before I started speaking to him, when I walked in, the kids were saying racial slurs, and the nurse techs were saying it back, and I was just shook, and they just like kept on saying these things, and it bothered me because those things don't really bother me, but like if another person were to like have trauma from that, or because I don't think nurse techs, people who are trained to work in a mental hospital, are allowed to say racial slurs back to children, and it was just really confusing for me at first. But then I started talking to the nurse tech, and he looked at my wrist, and I had a Day in Vegas I had a Day in Vegas wristband. Day in Vegas was a festival that I went to, hip hop festival, and I never took off the wristband because I was excited. I was like, I wanted to keep the memory of it forever, and I just left it on my wrist. And then he was like, oh, you went to that hip hop thingy? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, are you here because of that? I was like, no. And then he asked why I'm there for. And I said, well, I was drinking alcohol. And he was just like, at a party or just by yourself? And I was like, just by myself. And he was like, yikes. And then I was just like, okay. And then he was like, why don't you go in the room with other kids? I was like, no, I don't want to. And he was like, no, I think you should. So I was basically forced to go in that room because I did not want to go to that room. But then, I just felt like I was obligated to. So I walked in the room, and I just sat in a corner away from people. And there was a girl next to me. And she was wearing scruffs like me, so I'm pretty sure she was transported from the hospital, same as me. And so she started talking to me, and then I started talking to her, and we were like finding common ground and some things, and we started talking about like the hospital and stuff. And then there was like these other kids. There's like six to like 10, 6 to 10 other kids just in the room with us as well. And it was around 5 or 6, I'm not sure, it was 5 or 6 p.m. And then the nurse tech started bringing in food, and we were just watching TV, and there was they just give us the opportunity to eat snacks. And so I didn't want to eat because obviously I just wasn't in the place. Well, I don't even remember if I ate, but yeah, that happened. And then the day started going ahead, and the nurses were calling people to have their medicine, and I was like, what? Nurses give medicine too? So I was just like, interesting. And you know what, so people started taking their medicines, and I think it was approaching bedtime. So we when it was bedtime, we had to leave the daycare room, and we were taken to our rooms, and I didn't have a room because I was new, and I just got there. So they put me in a room with the girl who I was talking to, the one who had scruffs as well, and we were roommates. And so we had to go in the rooms, and I felt disgusting because I haven't showered since who knows. And I felt disgusting, nasty. I just wanted to change. And oh, I remember they also gave us an orange shirt, but like I didn't have a bra, so I just it was just showing everywhere, and I hated it, but that's all I had to wear. And then so I didn't have underwear as well, so they give me these granny panties. And then and I think they give us like the fuzzy socks again, those hospital socks, and we got those. And then I think she took a shower first, and then it was me. And then now that I felt clean, they give us like little cups of shampoo, like it was like this, and little cups of conditioner, and then body wash was like same size. And I use a lot of body wash because, honey, we need to wash that body, but I didn't know what to get a lot, so I just had to use what I had. And then so we got ready to go to bed, and the bed had one blue blanket, and under it there was like another, like a satin sheet, and then under that was the cover for the bed. So I got ready to go to bed, and me and my roommate were talking for a little while, and I couldn't go to sleep because I was the one closest to the door to the room, and it kept on opening every 5 minutes because the nurse techs, whatever they're called, they kept walking in the room to check on us to see what we were doing and stuff. So they have to do that like every 5 minutes. People say it was every 15 minutes, but I don't even remember it by now. But it felt like 5 minutes because they did it so frequently that I couldn't go to sleep. And then I finally fell asleep, and then I think that day was like very scary for me because I did not know what to expect. So I think I took another shower in the morning, and then when we woke up, let me tell you, people would walk in the room, the nurse techs, and they would be like, "Get your vitals." And I was like, okay, we know that. I didn't know that, but I was like, okay. And then they would do it again every 5 minutes. They're like, "Get your vitals." I'm like, okay. I heard the first time. And then they walk in again. Get your vitals. I'm like, oh my God. It got me bad. But I got my vitals. And everything was fine. And then after that, people would take their medicine, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have medicine yet because I haven't talked to my doctor, psychiatrist, whatever he is. And so we went in the room for like 5 minutes. And then we lined up for breakfast. And the kids who are 12 and younger would be like at the front. And we would be like behind them. And it was funny because we like kind of conversated with them. And it was funny what they got to say. And so we left the room, this section, the children's section. I don't even know what they're called. And we were in a line and we just went downstairs. We all like went in the elevator, which was tiny, and went downstairs to eat breakfast. And the breakfast was horrible. That food was nasty. It was nasty. Sometimes the options were okay, some days. But most of the time it was nasty. And I sat with, I'm not even sure. Sometimes, let me tell you, I seclude myself from people. I don't like to be a burden. So I would just sometimes sit by people who I'm not really close to. Because I was too scared to sit with the people who I was close to. Because I just didn't want to, seem like, because the tables were kind of full. Not the first day, but like later, and when people started coming in, it started getting full, and I just really have a problem secluding myself from people, and I was just, I was not in it. And, yeah. And then after breakfast, we lined up again, and we went back to the room. And this is the part I hated so much. We would be in the room, the daycare room, and these nurses will come in and talk to us about our depression and our triggers and stuff like that. And it really didn't help me at all. And people who had school, that they were missing school, they didn't have school. Like, they were just missing school. And it was really bad. But not for me, because I was in online school, so I could know later. Yeah. And so outside, I guess it wasn't even outside. it was so when you go outside, there's a wall, and it's like a kind of a room, but instead of a roof, there's a see-through gate. And on top of the ceiling, there's a gate. And you can't see the sun. You can't see the clouds, the beautiful clouds. All you see is blue. It's just the sky. And it just felt like a prison. Like, it didn't even feel like outside. And for me, I was just better inside because it was air conditioning and stuff. And outside, I just felt like it wasn't outside. And the floor was cement as well. And then sometimes they would make us go outside for certain papers that they make us do that doesn't even work. And they would give us a folder and notebook to write in. And for me, personally, those things didn't really help. What really helped me is getting out. And so when we were in there, it kind of felt like it was like a lie in there. You had to lie that you're getting better and you feel amazing and, everything is just going great. You have to pretend that is happening to you. Or if not, if you just show your real emotion, like let's say you are really sad that you're secluded from everyone and you're just stuck in a mental hospital with like a strict schedule and nowhere to go, but no choice to go with everybody. And let's say you're really sad. You can't show that to the nurse techs or the nurses, anybody. You can't show that, or else they will put in more days and they will make you stay longer, which will probably make you even more sadder. So it was just like a lie trying to get out of there. Be like, oh, I'm so happy today. Life is amazing. It feels great. It's actually not. But anyways, we got out sooner because of that. So, and then after the activities, which was like 3 papers, and it was like 2 hours or something, and there would be 3 different nurses coming in, 3 or 2. They would come in and they would like talk about the papers, talk about depression, talk about this and that. And for me, I just knew I could like search up Google, and because when I was depressed and suicidal, I would just look up on Google like how to help, what to do, because I know it's not good to self-diagnose, but honey, I was crying every day. I lost motivation in YouTube. I quit YouTube because I just, I was not having it. And, I would always have a headache, and I would have problems with my parents, my family, and it was just really bad to the point where I was losing myself, and I didn't even know who I was anymore. So I knew something was wrong. It wasn't just sadness. It was something more. And so, after that, I just, looked on Google to see if it could help me, but really, it just made me feel worse, because I had to search up how to feel better. And as a human being, I think I've thought that I should know how to make myself feel better, because I'm human, and, I have perfect life, apparently. And I have everything I need material-wise, and I have clothes, I have a house, I have everything. But, my brain was not having it. I was like, no, you don't. I was like, well, you know what? Do you remember this that happened in school that one time? Oh, yeah. But also, did you remember what else that you said in front of everybody in this? And it reminds you of just the most horrible things that you don't want to remember. Your brain just puts it in your head, and it's horrible. And I'm getting off topic, but okay, where are we? About the day. So after the nurses with their Google definitions, after that it would be lunch. And lunch, I secluded myself from people again because I'm socially awkward. And then so the food was horrible again, so we had to eat horrible food. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was not. So yeah, and after lunch, which was like 20 minutes, we would go upstairs again, and sometimes you would pass by and see the adults, which is really scary because you don't know what they're in for. They could be in for meth, alcohol, some other crazy stuff. I've heard like people who really like are criminals with mental issues are in there. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Okay. And the adults were like staring at us. They would like look through the glass, and we were just like, hi there. And then we would go upstairs, and then we would go in our area again, and we have to go in that room, daycare room, whatever. And then I think we had no, we didn't have snacks. We didn't have snacks because it was like after gym. So then we would hang out in that room. We would just talk or, watch TV. But then TV broke. So we couldn't watch TV. And so we could just talk and do coloring books, activities, and stuff like that. But I really didn't like coloring because I color outside the lines, first of all. And it's not for me. And we have to wait like an hour or 2 hours. And then it was gym. And gym, I hated it. I'm pretty sure the first day I did not want to go to the gym. Like, I did not want to go. Period. Because I was having a stomach ache because of the food, first of all. And then I stayed in my room. And the nurse techs would walk in while I was trying to relax and be like, why are you in here? And I was like, because I don't want it. My stomach hurts. And then they would write it down on a piece of paper. And they'd be like, come with me. And I'm like, no, I want to relax, but I didn't have a choice. So I went with them. And then they wanted to talk with me about, that everything is going to be okay, that I should be anxious. Because first of all, my stomach was hurting because the food. And second, I was anxious. And the nurse tech was really getting on my nerves. Because they were like, well, you know what? It's going to be fine. It's going to be fun. Come on, let's go. And I was like, can I relax? Like, I wanted to relax. I didn't want to be going crazy in the gym, playing basketball and this and that. I wanted to stay in my room, but they wouldn't let me. So, and then another nurse tag came and talked to me, and they were like, well, and then they talked to me about my alcoholism, and they told me to, oh, hi, boo-boo. Hi, baby. Boo-boo, come on. Boo-boo. Man. Oh my god, he's doing that little bow thing. He looks so funny. Come here. Oh, he's mad. He's mad. Kid. Okay. He's right there. Look at his little body. Oh, you little baby. Okay. Where are we? Gym. So when nurse tag talked to me about my alcoholism, kept on talking. I was just like, okay, fine, I'll go to the gym. So you get shut up. And they told me to see the adults. She said she was gonna take me to the adults to see them, and I was like, no, I don't want to see them. Who said I did? And then they took me to the gym, and I sat down in a corner because I did not want to play, and they let me, so I was fine with that. But I didn't want to be in there, first of all. And so the kids were playing, and then gym ended, and then we would go into the food room again to eat dinner. We had dinner, and then this time they kind of had good choices of food, and they would kind of serve ice cream and desserts and stuff, but it was still not good enough. So and then so dinner ended, and we would go back to the daycare room, and everything was going okay, like for me personally, because I just wasn't having a bad day. Well, I was having a bad day because they literally put my feelings aside and just made me do things that I didn't want to do, and it was, taking a toll on me. But we were in the room, and we were we were talking to each other again, doing the activities, blah blah blah. And then they came in with snacks, and then this is where they would call people. No, they would people would eat snacks, and I think I ate some the first day, and then waited in the room until bedtime, and then bedtime again, the same thing. Go in your room, do whatever you want, take a shower. Keep in mind, to take a shower, you would have to ask for the things. You would have to ask, because every time you left something in the bathroom, they would take that. And I wear contacts, obviously. Like, I don't have naturally green eyes. Sorry to disappoint you, honey, but I don't have green eyes, and I wear contacts. So I forgot to tell you guys, the first 2 days I was completely blind. I didn't have my contacts at all. So I was seeing everything really blurry, and like I couldn't see. So I was seeing everything blurry. I was seeing basically the whole day was just blurriness. And the next day, after I took a shower and stuff like that, got ready for the day, and then they could come in every time with the door creaking and stuff. Keep in mind, also, my bathroom, the bathroom that we were in, I was kind of inspecting. I know, bad idea in a mental hospital, but I was inspecting. And the floor had like dried blood stains, and I was just iffy. I was like, what happened here? And, it was just really disturbing to see that. But, yeah. And then, only hygiene product was deodorant, which was not enough for me because I need perfume, lotion. Oh, they gave us lotion. But I need perfume. I need a lot of things. I need fragrance, body wash, this and that, and perfume. A lot of perfume, like 5 bottles. But they didn't have that. I don't think that they let me have them. I don't even think my parents brought me any. But then the second day, I believe my parents brought me my clothes and my things for everyday life. And the nurse tech would have to see what was in the backpack. They would have to take it out individually to see if there's any hoodies, if there's any strings, ties, anything you can hurt yourself with. And they would and he would take out my bras, and I was just like, awkward. And yeah, they gave me my stuff, and then I finally got my contacts. So I was like, I'm gonna put these in. I'm gonna put these in right now. And I put them in, and I was like, oh, I could see myself. And then I saw how much of a mess I was. I saw my eye bags. I saw my hair. I was like, oh no. Also, the first 3 days, I didn't have a hairbrush. So I was just combing my hair with my fingers. And it was not a good job, but it was the only thing I could get. And also, the bracelets? They gave us bracelets for the to be in the mental hospital. You have to have a wristband. And the wristband had a little tiny spiky thingy. So you could just do that on your skin. You could just scrape it. And you could hurt yourself. And it was really dangerous. But, the nurses don't see that. They think the ties and the hoodies and the strings was what the dangerous is. And then the brushes they gave us looked like they were handmade. The little thingies that would comb your hair, it was literally spikes, and you could drag it along your skin, and you would get marks, and it was bad. There's a lot of possibilities that could happen, because first of all, we had a cabinet, and cabinets are already bad to start with, because people can do some random gymnastics thing and hurt themselves, and the number one thing that was horrible in that room was that the window, you can't really see anything outside of it. You could maybe see 5 cars, but then you couldn't see the daylight, you couldn't see the sun, the moon, nothing. Zero. It was just, in the mental hospital, it was just the lights that they have in there and the little light that we get from the outside. And so I think it was the 3rd day that something really bad happened to us, basically. So it was, I believe, after lunch. And there was a girl. She was a ped. And I think she was upset that she couldn't be with us. So she wanted to kill us. And it was already pretty traumatizing that someone wants to kill you inside a mental hospital. And so she was outside of the room, because we were locked in a room, because they locked us in there with the keys and everything. And we were like, there's something going on. And then she started throwing things to the wall, and you could really hear the thumps. It was really loud and scary. And then she started banging on the wall. And then she would throw chairs and everything. She would throw anything that's in her way to the room that we're in. And she could have broken the glass, but somehow that didn't happen. And she was fighting a nurse tech, trying to get the keys so she can get in our room. And that is what really scared me and traumatized me to this day. And I know it's nothing serious, like it's a person just thumping the wall, making noises, but it was for an hour, about an hour, just non-stop. And people, and the nurse techs wouldn't give her a shot, which if people were to go berserk and crazy, they would have to give them the booty juice. It's not what everyone calls it, but in our mental hospital, it was called the booty juice. And it would be inserted into your butt. And it was a Benadryl, I believe, and they would like put you to sleep. So, and they didn't do that to her because the nurse tech had a bond with her and knew that she wasn't gonna need it. And so she was doing that, and then for like 30 minutes, they locked her in a room next to us, which was the peds room. The peds room was right next to ours, to our daycare room, and you could just hear her going crazy in there and throwing the things against the room, against the wall, and it was really, really scary for me because I've never heard anything like it, and I'd never been through like anything like that. And some of the kids were starting to cry or tear up because they were just really scared to this point of what was gonna happen. And then it all ended, and she was in the room and she was relaxed. She let out all her anger, and they unlocked the door. And then the nurse techs came in to talk with us. And you would believe this to be like a calming talk, like, oh, it's gonna be fine. She was just like that for a time and she's gonna be okay. I mean, they were saying that, but we were also worried, well, about if she was okay, because she was fighting with a ped. And, you never know if she could, like, gotten actually hurt or seriously injured. Like, we were just concerned. She really, really iced the cherry on the cake with this comment. She said, y'all shouldn't worry about me. What instead y'all should be worrying about is the things that made you get in here. And she then said that what we did was dumb. She said that we did the dumb things that got us in here. And I know dumb doesn't sound, like really bad. Like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. But when you're such in a sad and lonely and really like down place, the littlest words will affect you. Well, me. All this, I'm talking about myself. And that really hurt. And I was gonna cry because she really said that. And I was, I thought she was supposed to support us and make us feel amazing. And so, it just wasn't it. And I was, really sad now that she said that. And that's how she feels about us. So I just, kept this disliking toward the nurse techs because, they aren't that support of a people. They aren't that supportive. And so I was supposed to see a doctor, but I don't think I ever saw them till like the fourth or the third day. I think it was the third day in the morning. I finally saw my doctor after like through 2 days. And they were asking me questions, like everybody asked, like, what got you here? Why do you drink? Blah, blah, blah. And then he started talking about my problems and prescribing medication for it. And the medication was an antidepressant, a sleeping pill, and a nightmare pill, I believe. And also anxiety. So I had 4 pills. 4 different medications. And already, that was a lot. Because I was like, I never took any medications. Is this what people... is this what like, medication is? Like, I just was surprised because I never had medicine for my brain problems. So I was just, But, I got to the night. And then they called us to take our medicine. And I had medicine to take, so I took them. And this is where I learned how to take pills. because before I was scared, terrified of taking pills, like not even like one that was this small, like that small. I would not take. I'm too scared, too terrified. It's gonna get stuck in my throat. I'm gonna die. It's gonna kill me. Whatever. But I took 5 at once. Nothing happened. So, no, actually, I was taking each individually. So here's the little cup, and then it's like that. And then my mic almost flew to the ground, on the desk. And the nurse would have to see your mouth. You would have to open it, pull out your tongue, open your mouth wide and open so they can see. And, I took my pills. No problem. It's fine with me. And they would check, and then they were like, okay, you're ready to go. And then I would go to my room, and then me and my roommate would talk, like, about each night. And, my roommate was not having it. Like, yeah. And I wasn't having it, too, because I didn't want to be here anymore. And it was the 4th day. And the 3rd day when that girl was, going crazy, berserk in the room, they were doing phone calls, and I was one of the first ones on the list, and I was like, huh? I don't want to talk when she's, like, right there, and I was scared, because I don't want to go out in the hallway, and she's, like, right there, like, just roaming around. And so I was on the phone with my parents, and then I was just, like, really talking frantically. I was like, okay, Mom, can you really get me out of here? Can you get me out of here, please? I really need just do everything possible to get me out of here. And, she was like, why? What's happening? And I was like, I can't say right now. It's really, really bad. And then you could hear in the background, she was thumping again, and then she was, like, arguing and stuff, and then you could hear it in the phone, and a lot was happening. People were running and stuff, and then I was like, Mom, I gotta go, bye. And then I just ended it, and I ran. And I ran back to the daycare room because I was terrified for my life. And I thought I was going to die. And, nothing happened. But I'm, like, really dramatic. And, never happened to me. Where a person would be, wanting to kill you next to you or being near you. Guess who I'm with? Look, it's Boo Boo. Yeah, hi, Boo Boo. Do not get mad at me. I am your mother. Hey, say hi. Say hi. This is gonna be the thumbnail. No, I'm kidding. Don't we just look alike? Oh. Do you know other people are gonna see you? You're gonna see you, baby. Oh, now he likes me. Such a baby. Cause I baby him. Yummy. Yummy. Now, on the 4th day, we would have parental conference. This is where we would meet up with our parents, our family, and talk about what's gonna happen when I leave. So, my family came, and I was with the nurse, and then we went downstairs, and we went to the room where we're gonna speak in, and she was, just saying, like, what is my schedule gonna be like? Am I gonna wake up early? Am I gonna do my homework? This and that, and and I was gonna say I was gonna wake up at 9:30 and go to sleep around 10 and 10 p.m. And I don't think that ever happened. And so we were like making this whole plan that was gonna happen, and Of course, she said no alcohol in the house because, substance abuse, and I'm likely to go after it from all this. So, yeah. And also, the third day, when that girl, when I think one of the other peds was going, they were like, "You have a fleas, child." They were like having a breakdown and really going at it, and so I think they locked us in the room and locked us in with a nurse tech. And he was pretty chill, like he would talk all like gangster and stuff, and he would be like, "If you grew up like what I grew up with," like that kind of personality. And he was really funny and really nice to talk to, but he was too chill to the point where he had where he praised my alcoholism. So he asked everyone individually why they're in here for, and sometimes he would guilt trip kids on what they were doing. So it just really was not a good, effective idea. And it got to me, and he was like, "What are you in here for?" And I was like, "I was an alcoholic." And he was like, "Hey." And then he gave me a whole handshake and everything. And I was like, am I hearing this right? He praised my alcoholism. Because, I don't know. It's not okay to say to a child, it's okay to drink alcohol. It's not. It's not. And it's not something that should be praised and looked at as if, wow, I respect you. I mean, alcohol is really hard to ingest and, take because it burns the throat. But really, Jesus. I'm a kid. And it shouldn't be like a, wow, that's amazing. Like type of energy. Like it should be like, shame on you. How do you do that, this and that? Well, not like that because it would like make me sad. But maybe like, oh, so sad. Wish you didn't do that, this and that. And, I got the complete opposite. So I was just like, okay, that's drinking alcohol is completely fine. Let's do it again. That's literally what my mind said to me. And when we left the room for bedtime, he was like, "Hey, you're the one who's an alcoholic, right?" And I was like, "Yes." And then he was like, and then he gave me a handshake again, and he was like, "I respect you." And I'm like, yeah. I'm just like, no. Right now, I am no. But back then, I was not no. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it again. And that's what I did. But, that's another whole story. And so the fourth day, parental conference, what is gonna happen? This and that. And some people had partial hospitalization. That means they would spend half of their day, morning to like 3 p.m. around there, like a school day, but they would be in the hospital, mental hospital for that time. So it's like morning to 3, and then you would go back home and you would do your regular things. You would be able to spend the night at your house. And they were saying they were going to do that to me, but when I left, nothing happened. So I don't know what happened, but on that day, I believe that my doctor went to see me, and, he was asking the questions like, how do you feel? Are you okay? Everything good? You feeling amazing? And I was like, oh my God, yes! This is such a learning experience, and I'm learning so much, and I know how to cope with my issues, which I didn't know because nothing helped. But I was like, yes, amazing. Let me out. Now I'm free. And I was just lying so I could get out. And So on the 5th day, I finally got out for the past 5 days playing Uno like 3 days in a row straight because the TV didn't work. And after going through a traumatic experience and being praised that my alcoholism was great, amazing, shouldn't change, and continue my depressing and suicidal life. Okay, that's what happened after the 5 days. The mental hospital did not help at all. I left the mental hospital and I was dead inside. I was like, I finally see the sun, the cars, the people walking. Oh my God, so beautiful. And then when I went home, I was a mess. I was literally so sad, but I sprayed 1 million liters of perfume all over me because, honey, I was missing it. And let me tell you, like, the time after the mental hospital, I didn't feel great. I was really, really sad, and I was feeling so down, and the fact that that happened, and I had to go through that, and it just didn't cross my head that I was out and free to do everything that I wanted. And I felt so bad, and going to that place right now it's really horrible, and I never want to experience that feeling ever again. But yes, that is exactly how my mental health experience went, and it did not help at all. It does help now because I'm like, okay, let's not do things that end us up in there, okay? That's all it did. And it helped me with my issues. Well, now I have to see a psychiatrist monthly, which came from the mental health hospital, and she would evaluate my problems. She would be like, how do you feel, this and that. And I have currently 4 medications. Yeah, 4. 4? Wait. No, 3. 3. Okay, 3 medications. I'm currently on 3 medications right now. And they had to put up my antidepressant because I'm still depressed, sadly. But yeah, that's my life. And so I just want to tell you guys once again my final message. If you need the help, go to a mental hospital. If you're at the If you really need the help, I say go to a mental hospital. Do your research though. Check how much reviews it has and check the reviews. Trust me, it will save you a ton. I didn't have an option to pick my mental hospital because I was forced to go to that one. And I had bad reviews and I had a bad overall experience. But yeah, that happened, and I wish I could do anything to take it back, really. But it makes me as a person who I am right now. So, and I wouldn't be here in this video talking about it if I didn't go through it. So do your research, please. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, please comment down in the comments below, and I will put my social media in the description below. Please, you are not alone, and I love you so much. Even if I don't know you, please, the world is not a better place without you, because if we lose you, then there's no you, and you are really impactful in this world, even whether you believe it or not, okay? Did I think I was gonna be able to live to make this video and spread awareness? No. But, here I am, and I went through it, and I went through the most horrible things, and I still go through them right now. Like, I have still some problems. And if you ever need someone to talk to, please try to see if you could see a therapist or a psychiatrist. And if you ever went to a mental health hospital and you would like to share your experience, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to read it. And if you're not comfortable, of course, it's fine with me. You don't have to tell me, and it is not your obligation to. And I hope you guys take something from this. And for all my subscribers who watch this and don't know that I was going through this, there it is. Also, I went to the mental health hospital on November 6th. I landed on the hospital in November 6th, and then I went to mental hospital on November 6th, got out November 11th of 2019. And it's a few months ago, but I believe it's in the past now. And I am ready to upload this story and be personal, be telling my personal problems, and because it's really something that I want to share and spread awareness about. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys take something from this video, and I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next video.